which one do you think is fundamental and how do you think the other ones potentiate each other? And I will just let the discussion to be freely on the floor, just pick it up whoever wants, and then we have a free discussion from here.
Okay, let me pick it up, the first one, because I want to tell my definition about the metaverse, because I think this connects all the dots. And I put it in I have a masterclass for Metaverse Unplugged, and I just think about a definition and to present it to everybody because it connects all the dots. I see the metaverse as the next iteration of internet, seen through the lens of augmented and virtual reality, built on decentralized blockchain, powered by artificial intelligence, rendered in cloud computing, and connected through the 5G or 6G. And I think this kind of definition fill all the dots. It uses a Gestalt definition, trying to figure out the whole through different entities. On this definition, you can easily pinpoint what's metaverse. It has the blockchain, it has the rendering through augmented and virtual reality. It's connected through the blockchain. It's powered by AI, cloud computing. Of course, nobody thought about cloud computing because we need powerful renderings, and it won't be able to have them on your phone. So it has to be rendering cloud. And at the end, how this all is connected through 5, 6, 7Gs in the future.
Just a small joke here is like the metaverse as a concept is the sum of all buzzwords. So, so what do you think about it? Do you have any other opinions on this take? Is there any other way of defining this very vast concept? Yeah, sure.
I'll be the ugly pig in the room again. In my point of view, we've been having the metaverse for the past 20 years in different forms. Skype is a metaverse. Counter-Strike is a metaverse, World of Warcraft is a metaverse, Zoom is a metaverse, email is a metaverse, but the way we access this metaverse differs quite a lot. Let me ask you something in the room. When you think of metaverse, what is the first thing that comes to mind? Just shout it out.
Three-dimensional.
Somebody else? Gaming? Okay, so like literally Minecraft is a freaking metaverse. And this is, I would say, just one of the mediums. This metaverse that we've been all experiencing for the past 20 years will manifest itself. Like, if I want to access an environment that is 3D with a lot of people, I will have, I don't know, the goggles, or I will have the augmented reality. But I would say it's a bit more of a narrative of a very complicated term that describes the way how humans interact in a digital environment. This is just my take on it.
So, I'm going to pick this one up. Usually, as a moderator, you just throw questions and then really respect answers, but this one is very interesting, hot take. So, in many ways, you're saying that the metaverse can be seen as an extension of the society in the digital space?
Well, who uses it?
Obviously, humans.
Free marketing, yeah? Well, everything that we build, everything that we try to build, every idea that we have, every product, every company, everything that we do for other people to experience it and use it and have fun or enjoy it or give 1 stars on the App Store because the app is crappy or I don't know. So everything we do, everything we build is for humans. That means the metaverse is for humans and the humans will power the metaverse. Of course we have bots, now we have the AI, but even the AI is learning how to be a human. You get a lot of exposure with humans and I need a coffee after that.
To answer to your very nicely put comment, yes, it's all about humans, and I personally believe that everything we can do in real life, and even more, we will be able to mimic in the metaverse. The metaverse is a new playground where we can experience a lot more than we are able or have the opportunity to do in our real lives. And of course, I believe that the name of the panel should have included AI as well, because AI in the future would be an indispensable part of the enumeration.
I think, which is very interesting, is that both of you threw me some curveballs, and I want to pick them up and throw it back to you. So, the first question is, when you say that games or ecosystems such as Minecraft are metaverses, my first question is, isn't it that a gated content? Isn't it? I mean, isn't the content or the concept of metaverse by definition shared between different brands? I mean, the way I see a metaverse is that when you'll be able to port items from Minecraft to Fortnite, that's when it's going to be a metaverse. What's your take on this one, Daniel?
Sorry guys, I didn't get the focus right now. So there you have it. The first thing that we all need to agree upon is the definition of what a metaverse is. We have different ways of looking at a metaverse. I'm old, so I look at things with old head. What you described is a functionality that could be delivered today with normal Web2 technologies. The reason we're not doing it is because the absence of protocols or let's say ways of doing it. The blockchain comes in and says, okay, we're going to give you these protocols, this technology that enables you to interact with each other without somebody in the middle. So in this respect, it might be, but at the same time, it's not a gated content. Let me give you the curveball back and we'll do the ping pong. What should happen in Minecraft today, or what cannot happen in Minecraft today and should happen in a metaverse?
Well, the ability to port them to another brand.
But then the question comes, do the users that play Minecraft have this need?
Yeah, very relevant and might not have, in truth. And this brings me to the other, let's say, curveball that I had from Roxy. We said, first of all, that we might be speaking about the metaverse as an extended reality of sorts or extended society for humans, right? But AIs are going and they're moving towards artificial general intelligence. The guys from OpenAI recently said that they have a clear roadmap towards general intelligence, artificial intelligence, AGI. So maybe in the upcoming years, we will see more and more bots, AIs having a role in the metaverse, in the sense that they're not just tools, they might be actors. They might have, objectives, goals, such as we have, such as humans we have. And then what's the metaverse? It's like an extended space where both humans and AIs can work together, create stuff together.
Yes, I believe so. Imagine that you are playing a game, and I'm not talking about Roblox. You're playing an old game, classical quest game, and you have a non-player character, NPC. You actually, would you really love that character to have an intelligence? And maybe, for sure in the future, this type of intelligence will be powered by AIs. And as Roxy said, imagine a world where you have different AIs with different, scopes and means and something like that, and you get into this metaverse and you explore something, do a quest, do something, and you have an AI that responds based on your discussion. It's really intelligent in a way, so you have a different output. It's like in real life. Instead of talking to each other, maybe you're talking with an AI invited here or something like that has a very specific purpose. Let's talk about, fashion.
Yeah.
So if you put that in the shoes of a non-player character and throw that in metaverse, you have a specialized AI on fashion. And you have a panel with an AI from fashion, with humans from fashion, and then you discuss about that. And all this will happen in the metaverse.
I'm looking forward to moderate a panel where I have a speaker as an AI. I would love to see that. Alex?
Yeah, I just wanted to add that as the metaverse expands and basically more and more tasks will be available in the metaverse, we will need like AI assistants there, basically to help us with different needs that we have, and we will be able to do in the metaverse. So this is, I think, a must. The artificial intelligence into the metaverse. It's going to be like a coexistence of humans or our digital avatars and AI bot assistants.
It's really interesting that Adrian, you made a parallel with the NPCs, and usually, and also what Daniel said, about the fact that we're comparing them with traditional video games. In many ways, we're looking at the metaverse as a concept of being very gamified or game-like. And this reminds me of a movie that I know that either you saw it or you know about it. But I forgot the name. It's the one with... No, not that one. The one with played by with Ryan Reynolds. What's the name? I think
I just know the actor.
the game. I think it was the nice guy or game guy or something. Nice guy or something like that. And it was a very gamified view of the metaverse. Do you think that the metaverse as a concept, do you think that business is going to be that gamified? I mean, can you imagine doing your office works when you have business objectives and KPIs and things to be done? Do you expect it to be that gamified in the future?
Just to hope.
I mean, if you want to pick it up, of course.
I think for me, it's either game or social, right? Because that's probably the two things that we naturally, power the Web 2. So I think we naturally evolve into the Web 3 as well, right? So I think games and social and gamify social.
So the backbone of the metaverse is going to be something like a decentralized social network with some gamification features?
Yeah, or vice versa. I mean, mostly games, but with social function.
Okay.
Because that's where the money is. Let's face it, that's a motivation.
Yeah.
Because we don't build things for free. So I think, once you have that and it becomes a valid business model, and I think you can then have capital to experiment with different ideas. For me, I lean more toward arts because I think that's something that's very interesting.
Which brings me to my next question. What do you think is going to be the role of digital assets? And this is where we're going towards the NFTs as a concept. Obviously, they're very relevant in nowadays, the whole blockchain space, and they're becoming their own thing by themselves. But what do you think is going to be the role of NFTs in the concept, in the context of the metaverse?
Do you want to?
Yes. Just to answer a bit your previous question, isn't life gamified? So why would we expect the metaverse to be anything different than our day-to-day lives? Because even though the metaverse should be a place where we would experience digital experiences which we can't live in our day-to-day lives, so maybe just to relax, it's inevitable that the metaverse will mimic our society and it will be gamified. Regarding your current question, you cannot travel the metaverse without NFTs and digital assets. So you cannot envision the metaverse without digital assets represented as NFTs. Either there will be gaming assets or virtual art or even virtual identities.
Yeah, I would like to add something here. I think that NFTs will be one of the main gateways for adoption for the metaverse, because we see the brands that are using NFTs as loyalty programs or NFTs as tickets for live experiences, so basically products that are approaching, so are aiming mass adoption. And basically with those NFTs, people will be able to enter metaverse, and I think this is going to be a step forward. It's not necessarily from a technical point of view, but from a usability point of view.
Just a small thing. I think the NFTs are going to be our stamp in the digital world. Our trade in the digital world will be an NFT. You buy it, your proof of presence, or you sell something, or you wear something, everything, all our presence will be certified in a metaverse, a digital environment, by an NFT.
So I think expanding on that, so the NFT has to evolve from just PFP, when it started out. Right? So I think for me, three things that I see where it may go. One is fractionalization, and as applied to real estate and art, for example. Second thing is VIP, gated access, and lastly, digital. Right, so kind of adding to all of this, because basically it needs to have more utilities than how it started out. And that's kind of how we can see potential realized.
I was just thinking about the fact that we started the whole NFT craze back in the day. I think you could say that the first NFT was CryptoKitties. So it was about creating unique assets that can be traced, cannot be replaced, cannot be forged, and you have all these values which are given by let's say the cryptography aspect of the underlying blockchain. But moving on with the applications of the NFTs in the metaverse space, you can see that they're more than just cosmetic items. We're talking about real utility, access to real experiences, access to a lot of benefits. And let's say going to the extreme, do you think that in the future we will be thinking about our own identity in a digital space as being something similar to an NFT? How will we handle the digital identity in a decentralized and most of it pseudonymous space, which is going to be the metaverse? Because I doubt a lot of people will enter the metaverse with their real, identity.
Are you going to take this one? So this is actually what we do. We encapsulate AI into NFTs. So we represent AIs as NFTs on the blockchain, and you can encapsulate your own digital DNA, be it voice, gestures, image, your entire digital persona, your digital avatar encapsulated in an NFT on the blockchain, with which you can generate yourself speaking in any language, with any voice. You can actually use a second voice or how many voices you want in the metaverse.
We already have an NFT right now. We have a unique DNA. It's a hash. If you put it in, we have an NFT right now. Even if I have a brother, twin brother, we have different DNA. So we are, at the end of the day, we are some kind of NFTs if you think about, we are living in a simulation. So basically, in the future, we're going to have some kind of a soul-bound NFTs that are things that are closer to our soul, like Roxy said about the voice and, body and I don't know, things that are more closer to your soul. And then you have the second layer, as humans are doing, and something like that, like superpower. Upon your NFT, upon your soul-bound NFT, you have a superpower, like speaking Chinese or, I don't know, Mignonese.
Daniel?
I cannot add extra stuff on the things that my colleague said. Right now we have this digital identity, but again, it's represented in a Web 2 form, right? Just get your Facebook account blocked and see what happens. You're missing out. You're declared MIA. You appear on milk cartons that you are no longer a digital citizen. NFTs will play a huge role in blockchain adoption because it brings a lot of utility, including digital identity. The question is not even if we are we going to use this technology for this, it's just when will we use it and have no idea that we are using it and everybody is doing it. So this is just my take on it.
So it's seamless.
That's the purpose of technology. It should be seamless in any freaking way. Like, if you know the technology is there, it means you're an engineer and you saw it. Otherwise, it's a bug, not a feature.
I think the key is, because we already see in current MMO or online gaming, right, that a lot of people invest in their character, through different items, right? Because unfortunately, a lot of people feel average in the real world, and sometimes, they can be a super person in that game, right, and get praises and validation and social growth. So I think the biggest, to me, the biggest differentiation between the current online games and avatar, characters in those games versus Web3 is the possibility of ownership. Because when you look at Web2, almost every online games will shut down at one point. If it's a hit, maybe 10, 20, 30 years, but almost all of them will finish, right? And the question is that if I invest 10 years of my life, topping up, leveling up my character or avatar, what happened to it? Because like just the other day, like last year, I'm a gamer, so I spent like $4,000 on this game total, and one day they just said they're closing service. And I'm like, wait, what happened to my character? I don't get a refund. It's gone, right? And ideally, a proper way would be ability to tokenize your character, bring it out from that closed ecosystem, into like an open environment, and hopefully port it somewhere or have it live on blockchain or whatever. So I think for me, that's the difference and the most attractive part to us at our company when it comes to Web2 versus Web3.
Please, let me take the role of moderator and ask everybody here, how about the mental health? And I will start with Roxy because it's humans. How about if you really love your alter ego, your superpower, you that speaks Spanish, Portuguese, and can easily talk with someone in Japan, and just having the first layer of superpowers. And at home, when you're out of goggles, out of Metaverse, you feel depressed. And how about that this new world will give you more entertainment than the real world? What happens there? I think someone will start a business right now about mental health for the Metaverse.
Yeah, no, I actually know a business in the mental health in Metaverse that is right now under development. I believe it is just a tool, like every other tool which we use. I mean, I don't hunt for myself, I depend on the food I buy. And this is the same way I see AI tools or an alter ego in the metaverse. There's actually a theory developed, it's called the avatar attachment theory, and it says that when you use your avatar in the metaverse every day and you use it to interact with your friends and to do many activities, you become maybe more attached to it than to your real self. So this is also an issue which definitely will raise problems in the future.
If we're playing this game and I'm the speaker right now, for me, I'm very happy for it. This was not scripted, but I love this challenge. To be honest, I think it's really interesting, and I'm going to echo what Roxy said. I think it's going to teach us a lot about our true nature, in the sense that we're so attached of this body that we have, and the fact that, I feel better when I wear a suit, or I feel better when I wear a turtleneck, or whatever. These are, in a way, cosmetic items in the real world, obviously, or for ladies, makeup. Even though, also as a man, you need to wear some basic makeup, at least a cream to hydrate your skin, whatever. So the idea is that we're already using this kind of cosmetics in the real world, and we're attached to the idea that we are this body. But when you start attaching to a virtual digital body in the metaverse, you're gonna start thinking about the fact, hey, what's the common me between the virtual avatar and the real life body? And it's going to have some really interesting repercussions about how we perceive ourselves as individuals at the society level. So I think it's going to be very interesting. It's going to be a very challenging next few years, and it's going to bring a lot of social change.
You want to pick it up? Someone else?
I would like to add, because I'm curious, so basically if the avatar is the digital representation of myself, will it actually be the digital representation of myself or of what I would like to be?
Yeah, it's a choice.
I think this is the, and if basically everybody has the digital representation of what they would like to be, is the metaverse basically a representation of the world or what it could be? Yeah, I think the discussion could be here. It's very philosophical.
But I really like it. Roxy, please.
I just wanted to say that we already have a digital representation. I mean, the way we portray ourselves in social media is not actually our authentic selves. So as Adrian said, I believe that maybe having an alter ego in the metaverse will help us focus on who we are inside as a person, because we are very grounded in the material world. We have this body, then we are going to have our alter ego in the metaverse, but what's the common ground? The way we are inside. So maybe it will help us get back to the origins of who we are.
And coming back to some more tangible topics, because I really love delving into philosophy, but perhaps people want to see something more concrete. There was one, let's say, concept in the list that we haven't yet touched upon, and this is DeFi. And DeFi as a concept comes from the idea that, okay, we have the digital assets, we can tokenize different kind of utilities, experiences, cosmetic items, whatever you tokenize. You have the NFTs. Okay, what do you do with that? So you can port it from the game that you gave as an example, you can take it out and you can use it maybe in another game, but maybe you can do things like, I don't know, use it as collateral for a loan. You can create some real life, real value through DeFi using digital assets. How do you see the future of DeFi in the context of the metaverse?
To pick it up again? Okay. Go for it. Imagine that you own a property in Spain. You can put it collateral right now for a property in Romania. It's gonna be something like this. You own a property or some NFTs that are valuable in the metaverse, and you put collateral for something in the real world. Or vice versa. You can have something in real world and you put it as collateral for something in game. And I think this interoperability, this bridge must be built in a way, because as metaverse is promised, it's a seamless integration from the physical to digital. It has to be as seamless as wake up in the morning and go inside. You choose you want to go to reality and have some stuff, play with your dog and something like that, or you want to go into metaverse and play with a dragon. As simple as that. Maybe one day you go to even days you go to play with your dog, and in not even days you go to play with your dragon. So basically, also your money and your valuable things. I'm not talking about money, I'm talking about value. I think metaverse is more about value, not about money. And one more thought, and I'll leave the mic. I think it will be a very good concept for the future to split the concept from wallet for cryptocurrency and vault for your NFTs. Because right now they're coupled, and everything what happens in the DeFi goes through the NFTs and vice versa.
You're all builders here, and I'm really curious, what are your thoughts? And especially you, Daniel, and you, Alex, I'm really curious about your position, because as creators of underlying technology and innovators, you're building technology that helps people do these kind of things. So you're creating use cases for digital assets in various industries. So how do you see the need for the technology to evolve? And we're speaking here from, I don't know, from bridges, cross-chain bridges, whatever, to have this seamless integration between real life and digital space. What do you think needs to be done in order to transform the vision that Adrian said into a reality?
The main challenge that every company right now developing on Web3 has is offering the user experience that is so seamless that technology disappears. So in terms of technology, the technology exists, the infrastructure exists, we can do a lot of things, but they're kind of techy. I just want to add a parenthesis about mental health. We're in freaking crypto, nobody's mentally healthy here. Close parenthesis. The main challenge is offering that experience, that place that allows you to do the things that you want to do without having to actually stump your foot into the technology itself. Flipping, I gave this example yesterday. How many of you know what the electrical current has as properties, as physical properties? I would not know that, come on, it's ruining my, like, one guy. The idea is that when you want to open the light switch, you just turn it on and the lights come on. This is the exact same thing that all of us have to build in a digital environment for users to actually use the technology. I'm probably one of the most stupidest person in this room because I did not buy Bitcoin when it was like $13. Why? Because the wallet was complicated and I did not understand the terms, and I made the executive decision to buy domains. Guess what? I'm not that bright. So, but this is exactly one of the use cases when technology comes in the way and does not let you do what you want. So what we have to build, apps, metaverses, stuff that people want to use in a way that does not interfere with their goal. And this is how it will get to that much coveted mass adoption that we all love.
Yeah, I fully agree. As a company that started in Web 2 and now it's expanding into Web 3, I think this is basically the biggest issue. How you make the process, the onboarding process, flawless for the end user. Otherwise, regardless of the benefits that you are offering, if the end beneficiary cannot use the technology, it's extremely complicated to use it, it's useless.
Yeah, I think expanding on this, what we see is that too many companies, especially in Web3, are too in love with technology. So, they kind of talk so much about their tech stack. But, I think at one point technology will kind of equalize this out. But the problem, to their point is user interface, UI, UX. Because I think not enough effort is being put on that, right? But too much effort is being put on technology part. And because today, like you have like what 80 million crypto wallet versus what billion plus a digital wallet. So I think until that experience, both of that experience kind of come together and seamless, and you don't know the difference between going to the bank using your wallet versus buying something with Bitcoin. Until that time comes, I think the mass adoption will be an issue. So hopefully more people will kind of focus on this part, because as a company, we think we're doing pretty okay, and it's not because we have the best developers, and they probably not gonna like me for saying that, but I think what we're really good at is on visual, on the design, and I think that's why fashion houses like working with us, because when they talk to us, they never ask us what's your tech stack, but it's more like, do you understand our brand DNA? Do you understand our audience?
Sorry, I think that you could.
And I think one more question for you to cover, for one more answer is, every time you build, you have to think about to use technology not as a purpose, but as a mean. If you think of the purpose, I want to be on blockchain. No, the question is how to use blockchain to solve a problem or do something, not use it as a purpose.
And sorry for my voice, just to end the panel, because we're approaching the end of the panel. I would love to take one or two more questions from the audience. If there is any, of course.
I will be fast this time. Thank you, guys. First question, what do you think of Instagram recently deciding to eliminate NFT products from their platform? And second of all, how important do you think decentralized social networks are? Especially, we have an example quickly, which is Lens Protocol by the Aave protocol, as we know. that they basically will allow you to integrate your social media into our platforms. How important do you think this is, sorry? Thank you.
Well, I'll pick this up. Social media has now become the town center of all our activities. We go online to chat with each other, to curse at each other, to discuss politics, to discuss economics, while banks are fucking assholes and you know what, right? So this should be free, this should be open. You should not have a Facebook that comes and says, I'm gonna just take you offline and goodbye your friends and family. And it happened very recently with my sister. I just saw her disappearing from the internet, and I was glad for a bit, but then I asked her why, and she said, okay, my account got closed. So this should be open, this should be free. It's no longer, it's a platform that you can profit on. It's I would say the infrastructure for society. We connect, we talk, we work with each other across thousands of miles instantly, and this should be a free, open environment that is, I would say, even censorship resistant. This is very important. This is just my take on it.
Let me give you another. Let me be devil's advocate. And imagine that we are building a town, and without the government or someone building a square where people should meet, there's no communication. Look what happens in Romania. Do you know Romanian villages? We know that Tata Floarea, it's a Romanian name, stays on number 1, and now Vasile stays on number 111. They don't meet each other because there's no town square. And who's supposed, because otherwise if you think that libertarian way of, okay, people let's meet and talk about it, without someone building the infrastructure for this.
What government built Bitcoin?
Someone, there was someone who thought about Bitcoin. It's not government, but it's someone, Mark Zuckerberg, who built it, Instagram. Someone thought about Instagram and built it. No, not the community said, how about creating, how many of you do you want to create a new Instagram? If you put like 100 people here, raise your hands, we're never gonna agree at what type of system should we build. So we need someone who's crazy enough, who's gonna be someone in 100 years or 10 years to build something, and then we start to think about that more decentralized. But it has to be, I don't know. Let's agree to disagree.
No, I mean, look, everything that gets built out of need. When people need to communicate and get together and be on a platform, they will find the resources and the means to just coagulate and build something that they need. There are two ways to approach this. If we want to build a company that makes profits, we all gather, sell a vision, and we do some stuff that we want and find the product market fit and all that. But at the same time, if we want to communicate and somebody prevents us from communicating or from getting access to the stuff that we want, we will find the time and the means each other to actually build the stuff that we want. This is the open source community that has been building technology used by thousands of corporations.
I think this is part of the spirit of the Web3 community, and unfortunately, it's pretty frustrating that the discussion ended up at the end, but we're at the time limit. And I would like to thank all the speakers for being here and having a great contribution to the discussion. And I would like to end on one idea. Regardless of the role of innovators in the near future, like Adrian said, I'm sure that we have a common ground about understanding that even if we will still have the role of the innovator, for sure the future is going to be much more